Hey, you guys, thanks so much for watching. I see you watching on air. Thanks so much. Make sure you like us, comment, and plus. And if you have a question for MC, just tag me or anyone in the Hangout. And if you're watching on YouTube, just write it on the comments and I will get it too. What do people call you?
Light.
Light.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Can I call you Light then?
Sure.
That's okay. All right. Light.
Yeah.
I like that. That just means light in every way, like light, bright, not heavy.
You know what? One of my friends calls me Light Bright.
Light bright. Okay, that's cool. See, it's very appropriate. Happy holidays to you.
Thank you.
I love
Thank
it
you.
that
Same
you're
to
here.
you.
Thank you. I have a little Christmas tree here.
I see you representing right here.
I know these days the news is so tough and heavy, and it's just it's just hard.
Now, what does this mean? No biting, please.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Everybody does.
Okay, we have our co-anchor Aroxia that's here, and she bit me one day.
Oh.
So she was going to spend a little extra time with me here today. So we, our floor director, because I screamed so loud, she didn't even warn me. Like she just bit me, and if I had a huge bruise here. Oh. Yeah, and then Ronda Rousey was just here. She's the MMA fighter from UFC. I don't know if you saw her in the hall.
Yeah. I didn't see her in the hall, but I saw her on television.
Yeah. And then she saw it and she goes, "I don't bite. I kick. I do the no." Anyway, so ladies,
look, I don't bite. I write my own rhymes. Look,
exactly.
Everybody's got their own interpretation of what that means.
I'm actually going to keep it there. I think it's kind of a good icebreaker. I'm going to keep that sign up there. So Lyte is here to talk about the Hip Hop Sisters organization, perhaps.
Yeah, Hip Hop Sisters.
Oh, I haven't introduced you. I'm like digressing. Sorry, you guys. Trev was here last time you were here. Actually.
Okay, hey Trev.
I think you were. Yeah, he's in Yorkshire, in England. Tom is in Atlanta.
Hi, Tom.
Kempton is in Calgary, Canada.
Hi, Lyte.
Morning.
Justin is also in England. He's in Brighton.
Okay.
Jimmy is here in Koreatown.
Okay, I know him.
You do?
I don't know why, but I've seen him somewhere.
Maybe. Jimmy has been around. Deanna is in Reno.
Okay.
Yo.
Hey.
Chris is in Dallas.
Oh,
with Santa.
Yeah, I'm at the North Pole.
Santa's like looking over your shoulder. So let's talk about the Hip Hop Sisters organization. What's going on?
Well, there's two sides to it, actually. In the foundation side, we just gave away $2,000 scholarships, which was great, to two young ladies that will go to the University of Wisconsin-Madison. And then on the flip side of that is the artistry side. And we have a 3-day event. We're searching for the next top female MC. We're having a panel at the LA Film School where we'll get into Entertainment 101 and teach these young ladies how to get in the business, stay in the business, and really realize that you can be diverse in it, you know? And so we do that. And then Saturday is the big performance at 300 Wilshire, which is near you, Mr.
Koreatown, Jimmy.
That's right.
So this Saturday is the big event, the finale, where they're performing.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And where in Wilshire? Which theater or?
Oh, it's called Rooftop 3100. It's actually a club.
Oh, it's a club.
And it sits on a roof, but it's enclosed. But it's great. And hiphopsisters.info is where they find out all the information for it.
If you guys are watching, hiphopsisters.info. Okay.
That's right.
If you guys have questions for Lyte, go ahead, Tom. Go ahead.
Yeah, I've got a question. Back in the day when you were coming up and learning music and listening, who were your female, people that you wanted to follow and sing like or be in their footsteps?
Absolutely, Salt and Pepper. Yeah, they were my favorites. But I did listen to Roxanne Shante and The Real Roxanne, and also a group called Sequence that came back in the late 70s that they rapped and they sang. And so with a combination of them, as well as R&B artists I use for inspiration as well, Janet Jackson and not just women though either. I looked at Run DMC and LL Cool J, and absolutely.
Jimmy, yes, go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask you, what is your opinion on what I consider, because I grew up in New York in the 80s and whatever, I was at the New York City Breakers, et cetera, What is your thought on the lack of real lyricists in hip hop nowadays? You know, with the Soldier Boys and people like that. You know.
Well, you know what? I tend to come, well, you do too. You come from a place where we had to search for our hip hop. And I think there is hip hop that can be satiating to both of us, because I think we're thinking the same way. And that is that we have to get out there and find it. We can't so readily accept what's given to us in mainstream, knowing that at this point radio is a big infomercial. It's like every spot is being paid for, and we hear the same songs over and over and over again. So I think it's up to us as avid hip hop listeners and lovers to search the internet for art.
Do you still consider hip hop not mainstream? Because I feel like that is now mainstream.
That's it's sort of like hip hop.
Pop,
Yeah, it's like hip
Yeah.
hop. And so I do think that hip hop is so much more than music. You know, it's the culture, it's the way we dance, the way we talk, it's everything. And so I think that still exists in a very organic way, and not the way that's being portrayed in mainstream media.
Gotcha.
I couldn't agree more. It's like, I mean, real hip hop these days, I mean, you got to go to the streets for that, to the underground. It's like, I mean, I stopped listening to the radio years ago because I was just tired of this garbage. I miss real lyricists, you know?
Like Pharoah Monch,
I really do.
Like Pharoah Monch, you know, people like that. That actually can kick lyrics. I mean, like, you know, Organized Confusion, you know,
Jedi Mind Tricks.
Yeah, what's his name? J. Rue the Damager. You know, people like that actually had real lyrics that could rhyme, that could spit fast or slow, or you know. Nowadays it's just I don't know. It's just kind of a mess right now.
Hampton, go ahead, Hampton. What's your question?
Like, I really admire what you're doing with Hip Hop Sisters, trying to ground the musician. I want to ask you, with all the advent of all the music contests, like the reality competition and what kind of advice will you give those people who compete or lose? I mean, man, it's a wide range, right? I mean.
To tell those who compete and lose?
Or try to make a living in a business.
What is your advice for them?
What is your advice?
What kind of wisdom do you impart?
It would certainly be to enter this game as educated about it as you possibly can. And there's all sorts of books that can break down publishing and mechanicals and just how royalties work. And
it's the business side,
it's
really,
the business side.
That you really need
know
to know
that prior to coming in, and to understand that it is a business, but yet you have to be creative, you have to be original, you have to come with a certain energy that may be missing. And this is why you get recognized, not because you sound or look like someone else, but because you came completely authentic. That's what I would say. But I would also say to enjoy the ride, and don't get in this for money, because we've already seen that it comes and it goes. It has to be an art that you love to participate in and also enjoy the journey.
Because it's the fame and the celebrity that I think a lot of
people
are
after
really obsessed with, especially today.
Yeah.
And how do you tell them to, hey, that's not what's important?
It takes an undoing, because right now hip hop is being portrayed as this thing to do because it's so much money and it's, the fame and all, but it's all images, it's just video, and it's not real, really. So it's just we look to get that message across in the panel that we're doing at the LA Film School. So I would say we do it in unity, but then we also do it one by one when I talk to young ladies.
I'm going to follow up with my own question after that, but first I'm going to go to Justin. Go ahead, Justin.
I was just wondering, do you think that's because of things like reality TV now, where kids know that it's quite easy to, relatively easy to become somebody and make the money and the riches and the fame, which is why that's what they're thinking of all the time. Do you think that's changed how the music business is working?
Well, I don't even know if it's the music business, what you just stated about reality shows. I think they kind of work as separate entities, but yes, I do think that it sends mixed messages. Now, we Hip Hop Sisters, we happen to be working on a reality series, but it's really reality in terms
it's really
of
real.
Yeah, in terms of what we're dealing with. You know, we're not the Hollywood wives. We're not the ex-wives. We're not the basketball wives. We are, female MCs who have spent a large amount of our lives battling to have a space within the hip hop community that is mostly male dominated. And so we're all dealing with our issues. We have Yo-Yo and Lady of Rage, Moni Love, MC Smooth, and our little Minty. We're mentoring Little Mama.
How do you feel then about, because you talk about the culture of hip hop, and when you see women being portrayed in hip hop and rap, how does that affect you, and what do you tell the Hip Hop Sisters about it?
Well, it's all a matter of them being educated, that what they see wasn't always what was.
Because it's prevalent, and that's part of the culture that when I saw my son, he wanted to rap, we saw the videos, and that part of it was just not attractive to me and to women, just as a woman in general.
Yeah. Lucky for us, we do have some men, like some of the guys stated, who are very respectful towards women. And so I think it's the responsibility of everyone involved, down to the person who gives them the record deal, the A&R person who says that record deserves to be on radio who says we're going to make a spot for this, the video director that creates the visual for it. Like, someone has to say to these artists, this is unacceptable, but no one is. And then you've got kids buying it. So it sends such mixed messages to the artists that they think they're doing something that's good when in fact they're not.
Because one thing to portray women as sexy and beautiful, but it's another when they're in
used and abused and just crawl on the floor.
You got a question, I think.
I just have one question.
Sure.
So for those hip hop heads who may be watching, what young women, up and comers, would you say to kind of be on the lookout for, that who, like somebody said, are lyricists? I mean, I'm like my buddy here, grew up listening to lyricists, real lyricists like yourself. There was sisters like Bahamadia and Latifah, and
Bahamadia is awesome.
So many others. Who should we be looking out for now that's kind of up and coming, that takes on that takes that mantle?
Absolutely. There are a few. There are actually so many, but there are a few that I can name now. One is Mayday. She's out of Detroit. There's Chocolate Thai. She's out of New York. Neb Love, who's right here. But you know who people sleep on? And, I have so much faith in her as an artist, is Little Mama.
Little Mama.
Yeah, she ran into some difficulties with some things that have nothing to do with music. But I think when people hear her lyrics, if they can just get out of the way, all of what happened and now concentrate on what's real, and that's her art as an artist, I think people are going to be pretty surprised.
As a father, when she first came onto the scene and my daughter was listening to her, she was one of the ones that I was like, okay, I don't feel so bad with you listening to
lip gloss, that's not
cute.
right.
But even then you could hear that she had something more than what a lot of
Oh man, are you serious?
Seems a little bit frozen.
That's wild.
I think we lost him again.
That's funny, Kempton. A little bit frozen.
Just a little bit.
I mean, very.
Don't worry, it's only slightly frozen. There we go.
Oh, they're back.
Yeah, we're back.
Hopefully we can spend some time and get it back.
I'm going to give you the last question, okay? Jimmy, I'm sorry, you guys. Jimmy, you got the Kempton question. I know that.
Actually, it's my question.
Oh, it's Cordell. Go ahead, Cordell.
Hey, Lyte, first of all, I want to champion you because you're one of the few female rap after career. I'm pretty good as far as recognizing people's voice, and I've heard your voice on several voiceovers. you know, how do you guide some of these young up and coming female rappers into understanding that it is a business and that you do have to have a 401k plan?
Well, you know what?
Yeah.
I think with this panel that we're going to do, it's a two-pronged panel. One is Entertainment 101, like I mentioned. We're going to go over quite a few of those things. And Lynn Richardson, who is the COO of the company, she's actually a financial expert. So she'll be able to address those things with all of these artists, as well as them just feeling as though they are worthy. You know, for a young child or, you know, teenager or adult to say that they actually want to rap, you know, because it's so male heavy and dominated, they've already have to have some sort of level of confidence that allows them to want to speak up and speak out about whatever it is that they're addressing. So I think I'm going to just be in the midst and be as real as I can with these young ladies about what it is that they can do to sort of push themselves further. And I don't think emceeing is the end of the line. It will just be a way for them to actually learn what they like, what they don't, and what their voice is all about, and having control.
Well, you're an awesome role model. I thank you.
Thank you.
You really are. You're a wonderful, wonderful role model for all young people.
Thank you very much.
As you are still very young. Look at her. I mean, my God. I'm looking at you. You have not, there's no wrinkles or nothing. Hey, you guys.
Genetics.
No. I look at you up close. It's gorgeous.
That's called good genes.
It is, right? It is. Lyte, thanks so much for joining us again.
Thank you, and
really
thank you
appreciate
all.
it. Check out these.
No, thank you.
Saturday.
It was awesome seeing you again.
Yeah.
Yeah, can we have a photo?
Yeah,
With
let's
you
do it.
again before. Here's the camera.